All right, I have Chad Keilen here with me today. So thanks for coming on the podcast, and we'll jump right into it. So you have been investing in real estate for a really long time. So maybe you can tell me kind of how you got started and what made you want to get into it in the first place.
Yeah, I started back in 2007 during the Great Recession. Uh, Everything was, there was talks about prices of houses, and it was the perfect time to be buying. And at the time was working a W-2 for, I guess, about 6 years already. Had purchased a house that I lived in for 7 years at that time, and I had already remodeled it. I've been good at remodeling and around construction all my life growing up, and it was just time for something else. And so I thought, well, a rental's a good place to start. And so at that time, it was very easy to buy properties on land contract. You could look in newspapers. I remember finding land contracts on the Lansing State Journal
Hmm.
before when that was just the easy place to list them, and that was a good selling aspect for a lot of sellers at the time too. It really worked out well. Um, so yeah, I bought my first one that I bought in 2007. I bought it for $17,000,
Yeah.
and it is a 348 square foot studio house.
Wow.
And I ended up buying the property using a blank check that they used to give with your credit card,
Hmm.
and wrote it out to myself and put the money in my account,
Oh, well, yeah.
and then paid cash for it.
Oh, I love that.
And
So,
then
so how'd you get the $17,000 credit card in the first place? Just you had it.
I had a personal line of credit
Okay.
because I had already owned my own
Hmm.
house, and uh, they they were always given the 0% interest for a
Yep.
year. Write this out to
I've seen those
yourself. The
checks.
little
Yeah.
fine print. I think there's a $300 is what it costs, but I had the property. I remodeled it all myself. 348 square
Hmm.
feet isn't too difficult
Yeah.
to manage, and I had it. I bird it. I truly bird it
Hmm.
before the term
Yeah.
was even a term. Um, and yeah, that's where it all started. And then it was domino effect after that. I got the money back, and I move on to another, in my case, another town and another set of properties.
Hmm. So you bought your first rental here, um, and then you moved out of town after that, and then kept buying rentals where you moved to.
So I was working a full-time job living in Chelsea, Michigan at the
Okay.
time.
Okay.
And Lansing was the place that I could afford.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's the reason I'm probably still a Lansing investor.
Yeah. I think it draws a lot of people from across the nation.
Yeah.
It's still affordable. Rents are good, and I think we have a really good economic climate with the
Mm-hmm.
state jobs, lots of insurance, universities, colleges, hospitals.
Yeah.
It's not one industry based. But so you had your rental, and then you bought a few more rentals here, or what was next?
Yeah, so after that one, I found another land contract. This one was in Jackson, and there was a 3 unit, a duplex, and a single family all lumped in the same land contract.
Hmm.
Um, that one was an interesting ride, but I can go into that later on if
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah. I mean, what? Yeah. What? I guess. Why would you say that? Yeah. Tell us more.
Uh, because I was working a W-2 at the time,
Yep.
so the more work I could do from behind a computer, the easier it was. And so truly didn't vet out the location aspect of the investment as
Hmm.
well as I
Hmm.
should
Yeah.
have. And they were already also because in this case with a land contract, it wasn't the burr strategy I was going after.
Hmm.
It was being able to just put a down payment down,
Hmm.
and tenants already in place. That was important
Yeah.
because I didn't want to have to look for them.
Yeah. It's turnkey.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Perfect. And oh, they don't need any work
Yeah.
because they already have tenants.
Truly passive. Yeah.
Uh, so so that was, and I also went through a couple property management companies, but I ended up working that aspect, and they did the management for me. Um, and then I also, and so I believe it was at that point that I really started to, well, maybe that's when I went back to Lansing and got one more set of land contracts, or was actually under contract with them, and decided that it was time for me to start learning
Hmm.
about real estate instead of just doing all of this. Um, so that's when I reached out, and Robert Kiyosaki was doing this training program at
Hmm.
the time that for investors, and there was a free seminar that you attend, and then they tell you about all the numbers and deals and what's all involved with this training, and I was in hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Was it the one day that they sell you on the 3 day that they sell you on the?
on the big boy
Yeah. Hmm.
package.
Yep. I've
And so
I've
I
been through that.
wasted,
Yeah.
and you got to remember, I was working a W-2. I was an engineer at the time. So, and living by myself,
Hmm.
and my expenses were low. Uh, and so I was able to not necessarily, I wouldn't put a whole lot of money in.
Hmm.
So I was able to just continue and
Yeah.
uh, go on to the next deal. So it was and so this training, I think it was like $7,000,
Yeah.
some stupid
Hmm.
amount that,
Hmm.
I thought was a great deal. And then in the mail, I got all of his books, The
Yeah.
Cash Flow Quadrant, Rich Dad Poor
Hmm.
Dad, and the the cash flow game
Yep. Yep.
that was included. DVDs, CDs, there was a whole slew of things, homework. I
Hmm.
had a personal trainer assigned to me that I could call at any time, a hotline,
Hmm.
helping me through deals, and then moved on and found another land contract here in Lansing. It was for a single family and a 4 unit property,
Another package.
another package,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and um, worked that. And so this was probably by that time, maybe 2008, 2009.
You're up
Probably
to what, 10 units at this point?
you're gonna make me do
Five,
math here,
five,
Dave.
four, one, right? 154.
We'll say
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, 10-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. And those really were a good deal, and I found a property manager that I still use to this
Okay.
day. Uh, and things worked out really well on that aspect. And so, yeah, time went on, and things started to sour a little bit in Jackson
Hmm.
with my properties, and I realized how poorly I had
Okay.
the decisions,
Is that the
some of the
package of the
decisions.
five was in Jackson?
Well, that was, I guess I hadn't, so I skipped a couple steps because I ended up buying two more
Okay.
duplexes in Jackson too. I was really going all in between Lansing and Jackson.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's
Jackson is an enticing market. The prices are low. There's really no industry there, but there's a lot of cheap houses and a lot of people.
well, and I don't, I know that what a lot of, and I've checked in with realtors in Jackson recently too, and the ones that I used to work with back in the day, and even the downtown looks like they've done some really
Yeah,
nice
it's coming
nice
together.
things, but from everything that I hear in the downtown city of Jackson, it's challenging to work with
Yeah.
the city of Jackson.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I've heard that they are easier to deal with than Lansing. I don't know if that's true or not, but there was a push to fill in some of their city lots, their empty vacant lots.
Yeah,
Try to bring some
yeah,
revitalization to downtown, and their downtown is looking pretty nice.
it is. It is.
But yeah, I don't know if it's a spot to jump in and buy a bunch because it could take off, or if it's still going to be just kind of slow.
Well, so I was up to what, 14 properties
Hmm.
or units at that time, and uh, and it was around 2011 that I ended up accepting another offer, another full time job.
Okay.
So we moved to Dayton, Ohio,
Okay.
and while we were living in Dayton, I got a buyer to buy the house that I was living in that I turned into a rental.
Mm.
And then using that money, I ended up buying one more property in Lansing
Okay.
and rehab that one.
You
And
rehabbed it while you lived in Ohio?
not my,
Okay.
I
Yeah.
had it worked on.
Okay.
Um, and and it was shortly after that that things time had settled. All of my investing, I was focused more on my W-2 and just kind of sitting back. And uh, the Lansing properties, a few years, 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years after the recession, were doing quite well and staying strong. The Jackson properties were heading in the opposite direction.
Oh.
And
Oh,
it's
really?
like they were just getting, it was harder to keep tenants in the properties. It was properties just falling apart,
Hmm.
having to stick more money into things, and just became challenging.
Yeah.
And I realized maybe I had jumped into things a little faster than I
Yeah.
should have.
Hmm. So you sold those or listed those ones?
I gave away some of the properties
Okay.
because I told them just the original first 3 land contracts.
Hmm.
I just gave them back.
Okay.
Said, you figure this out
Yeah. Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. They got years of payment and some improvements, you know?
And I probably would have been putting more money and more headache into trying to figure out what I was even gonna, how
Yeah.
the strategy to get rid of them and still make a profit on
Hmm.
them. I couldn't make anything really pencil out.
Yeah.
And so within, I'd say, the next 3 or 4 years, I handed those properties back and then sold the other duplexes that I had in Jackson, and I was done with
Pulled out of
Jackson.
Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah, and never, never had the gumption to
Yeah.
to get back in.
So when you were in Ohio, did you buy anything there in Ohio?
No, I now I kind of kick myself a little bit because I am interested in certain
Yeah.
markets in Ohio, but during that time I was really, like I said, I was focused on my W-2. I wasn't really sure that real estate was going to be my
Hmm.
end all be all, but I knew, I still understood that it has its place and it's an important investment,
Yeah.
and I understand it. I wasn't, the mindset wasn't there that that was going to be my thing.
All right.
So at that time I didn't.
Okay. And then what was next in your real estate journey there? So you're living in Ohio, you sold some in Jackson, you owned some in Lansing.
Yeah, and then I took another full-time job that took me even further south to Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And that was in 2012, end of 2012. Didn't stay in Ohio too long.
Hmm. Hmm.
I knew it was time for me
Who
to
would
move
want to? Yeah.
on. Sorry,
Right.
Buckeyes.
Right.
uh, but yes, we ended up in Atlanta, and uh, Atlanta was, I love Atlanta. It
Hmm.
was just a phenomenal experience. We really enjoyed it. Culture, lots of restaurants,
Hmm.
and we really lived it up for a few years. Um, and it was around, I guess, and so to preface this, one of my best buddies from high school was down there as well, and which was part of the reason we were like, oh, well, we
Yeah.
know somebody
Hmm.
there, so it'd be easy to step into. So we, while we were down there, discovered that in northern Georgia, in the Appalachian mountains, they grow, or there's apple orchards,
Hmm.
and we both knew how to make hard cider from back in the day. So,
Hmm.
hobby cider, we thought, well, let's make a trip up north and get some of these apples and see if we can make some cider here
Hmm.
in Georgia. And with our first batches, it turned out really well. And so we there was a party being thrown, and we were kind of being caterers for the alcohol at
Hmm.
this party. And it was all of our ciders. and we had compliments up and down about, wow, this cider is great. Where can you get it?
Mm-hmm.
And so Garrett and I kind of looked at each other like, where could they get
Yeah, yeah.
it? And
That's a
so,
problem I can solve. Yeah.
yeah, so this was 2016 when that happened, and we started looking at, well, so going back to the real estate, what if we were to find a way to make it legally
Mm-hmm.
and produce it out of this spot? So we started looking on. We used LoopNet
Mm-hmm.
for commercial space, and found a couple of, I think, a total of 9,900 square feet light industrial buildings,
Mm-hmm.
two of them, and we ended up buying it together, and then doing all of the changes and conforming to be able to get our alcohol license and open up a cider bar.
Cool.
And for 3 years that I was down there yet, I was working the cider bar, and we were making cider and continuing to invest in residential real estate in Georgia throughout that time as well.
Okay.
Uh,
And working full time too?
we were only open one night a week.
Okay.
We don't want to get too
Yeah,
crazy. We don't want to
yeah.
make too much money all at once.
1 day a week. Is that
Yeah.
why the 1 day just because you were so busy with other
I
things?
didn't want to be open anymore.
Okay.
I didn't want to see Garrett any more than I needed to.
1 day is all you can take.
Yeah, we would open up. It was Friday night, like my favorite day of the week is
Mm-hmm.
Friday, and Friday night we would be open like 4 o'clock until midnight,
Okay.
and
That's cool.
just
And you found success
sling
with it
drinks.
still.
Uh, I don't know if it was success, but we met. I mean, successful in the way that
Personal
if you're
satisfaction. Yeah.
talking finances, we'd still have it open if
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
if
Right.
it was successful financially. But we the real estate, it was a solid real estate play,
Mm-hmm.
and the connections that I made through the entire
Yeah.
process. Learning and working with all of the city managers and the police officers that would stop and check on our place for us,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone loved us
Yeah.
because we were injecting otherwise not. It's parts of it remind me a lot of Lansing,
Mm-hmm.
in that there's a lot of automotive things and a lot, but maybe not so much bar or, yeah, except for
Yeah.
the bar area.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing like what we were doing where
Yeah.
we were at. A good thing and a bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
because if you don't have that sort of thing, it may not have worked in the past.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we,
Someone's got to be the
we made
cowboy.
it
Yeah.
there. The city officials loved us, and then the clients that would come in and out. We met people all across all walks of life that somehow want to talk your ear off when you're behind the bar
Yeah.
and you're
You become a
pouring the
therapist now
drinks,
too. Yeah.
and everyone wants to tell you everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was an interesting experience.
So you found the land on or the property on LoopNet. How did you underwrite it and how did you finance it? Because it's jumping from residential to a flex industrial seems like a big jump, especially 10,000 square feet.
It does, but you know probably better than anyone. It is so easy going after commercial.
Mm-hmm.
It's much easier going commercial than it is residential. You just have to have a solid business plan, explain what you're doing, and finding the funding for it. It was very easy. Me and my partner did both put down some funds to purchase the properties, but we also did a lot of the work that the properties needed all on our own.
Mm-hmm.
We really hardly hired anyone.
Yeah.
Um, and then going after the financing, like I said, at that time when we purchased, we both had W-2s as well.
Okay.
So that, with all considered, we were pretty easy to consider as investing in.
Okay. So you're running a cidery on
Yeah.
Fridays.
Mhm.
You're working full time, and you said you started buying properties in Atlanta. What did that look like?
So it was actually when we finally were ready to open the doors for the cidery. It was October 13th of 2018. Uh, I left my job just to be that cider guy,
Okay.
and that opened up my hands, my eyes,
Mm-hmm.
my to be able to really move further with residential, because I knew I was in a good spot, the time was right, and I know from having all of the properties that I did still in Lansing, that it makes clear sense
Yeah.
that
And
if you
and
can make the numbers make sense, you have nothing to wait for.
and those so were the Lansing properties cash flow positive, so you felt more comfortable losing your W-2 because you still had some sort of income?
And knowing that I knew how to do it.
Yeah.
I knew how to do it. I did it before,
Mm-hmm.
and I can do it again. And so so it was then that I also started to buy in Georgia
Mm-hmm.
within within 10 minutes radius of the cidery.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just, I was being very selfish
Yeah. Yeah.
for all the right reasons.
Uh-huh.
uh, so I ended up between, and it was also being fortunate with the people that I met, the realtors that came into the cidery that helped me along the way. Uh, pr- I purchased properties through people that I met at the cidery. But between 2018 and 2022, I ended up amassing 10 residential houses in Georgia
Okay.
near and around the cidery.
So I got to ask, 10 properties without a W-2, how were you able to finance them?
Creatively,
Okay. Oh, okay.
creatively, it was so part of it was moving pieces back here in Lansing,
Mm-hmm.
and when I did get rid of the remaining Jackson properties, that freed up some money,
Mm-hmm.
and then uh, some of three of the properties that I bought using my self-directed IRA,
Okay.
and that I never even heard of a self-directed IRA
Yeah.
until I met somebody at the cidery who explained, well, if you do it this way, I can sell you these houses.
Yeah.
And so I basically told him what I had. He's like, "Oh, that's how you can do it.
Yeah.
Buy them with your IRA."
Cool.
And so that was a big part of it. Um, and then when I left my job, I also was fortunate enough to be married to my wife, who has a W-2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have her do the financing,
Okay.
and I was still able to make the down payments
Okay.
and make those things happen as well.
So you're bought 10 of them. They were rentals. You did the work yourself that needed to be done.
Yeah.
Okay. And then over the 4 or 5 years,
Hmm.
what happened next? I'm guessing the Georgia Atlanta area kind of skyrocketed in values if you
Yeah.
were buying in 18 to 22.
Yeah. So I refinanced some of the three of the properties together, and got a good amount of money back out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we were able to even buy our house to move back to Michigan,
Uh,
was doing that.
okay.
We purchased it while we were still down there, and while we still owned the house that we lived
Mm-hmm.
in Georgia.
Okay.
When we ended up moving back in 22.
Okay.
Um, but that was, yeah, so the values are moving up. I have equity locked in a lot of those properties too that I'm not really doing anything with, because I sometimes you're better off not shaking shaking the tree,
Yeah.
or waking a sleeping bear,
Mm-hmm.
if that, if all your bills are being paid, and
Yeah.
knowing that the equity is there, it just makes my numbers look better in
Yeah, and
the
the cash
end.
flow is probably
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So how do you manage those ones? You have a manager in place down there?
So I have a manager here in Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
but all of my properties in Georgia, I still don't. I manage myself.
Okay. That's backwards,
It makes no sense to many.
Okay. So you moved back to Lansing.
Yeah.
Um, you had the cidery there and the 10 rentals there. Do you still have the cidery going today?
No, we closed it in 23.
Okay.
It was just, it was more work than it made sense,
Hmm.
and my partner was tired, and
Do you still
I,
own the buildings?
yeah, so we still own the two buildings. We ended up adding two more tenants. So that was part of, I didn't explain that
Hmm.
either. Those two buildings came with two tenants.
Okay.
Uh, so we had space, we only used, the cidery was only part of one of the buildings. And we used the other for storage and then two other tenants in the other building. So in they really paid to allow us to work on this building
Hmm.
and give us a couple of years to
Yeah.
get it ready to get the permitting and that's how we made most of our money was just from the rent.
Yeah.
So fast forward when we closed it in 2023, we ended up getting two more tenants in
Hmm.
our space because we're no longer in the
Yeah.
cidery, and we're cash flowing more now than we ever were.
Yeah.
So
Is that because you bought at the right time, you think? I mean, did you buy it at a was it a great deal in the first place, or was it just you happened to buy in a great market that was appreciating, or
yes,
okay, all of it, all
all
of the
of the
above?
things. It
Yeah.
really was just it was the right time. 2018, we came in with and the price was low. It was not the hottest neighborhood in Atlanta, but that also explains why we weren't the hottest cidery in
Yeah.
Atlanta as well.
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, and now we've had people walk the space, and it's appreciated by about four times what
Yeah.
we paid for it.
Well, that's the power of real estate, right?
That's
That's
exactly the power of
it's
real estate.
exciting. So okay, so you still have all your properties in Atlanta. You sold the cidery, you moved back to Lansing. Is that for job or family, or what brought you back?
We were born and raised
Yeah.
in this area,
Mhm.
and I guess when we first moved to Atlanta and we were younger and itching to get out of Michigan because I feel like at some point everyone gets that
Yeah.
along the way somehow. But I especially wanted to get out. My wife already had lived in Denver, so she had been out and she was willing to go again. So uh, yeah, we were kind of thinking too. Well, we'll just spend our years here in Atlanta in the South, and then as time progresses, as our parents age and everyone retires, they'll come on
Mhm.
out and head
Mhm.
to. We already got our feet planted here in
Yeah.
Atlanta, and not a single person left.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's like we just saw our young child getting older and asking why he can never see his cousins. Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
because they're in Michigan.
Well, all right.
So before he started first grade, we made sure to get back to
Okay.
Michigan.
So you came back
Yeah,
and then started investing again here.
picked up right where I had left off, uh, and so actually, Dave, while I was still in Georgia, I remember um, I was already starting to take real estate classes to
No.
become a realtor
Mhm.
before knowing that I wanted to become equipped when I got back. And I somehow stumbled. I wrote something on a forum on Bigger Pockets,
Mhm.
and somebody replied saying, "Oh yeah, well, when you come into town, you'll have to make sure and get a coffee, and we'll talk real estate." And that was you,
Oh yeah.
and you were like the first person to reply, and here I am in Atlanta. So, anyways, once I got back, it was like, and even though it wasn't through you, I stumbled upon the real estate meetups,
Mhm.
and that's where we kind of started understanding how to get my feet really sink in deep in Lansing and make it happen pretty quick when I got back.
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't realize when you moved back, you already had a bunch in Lansing,
Mhm.
and then you've been buying more since then. So you got back, you started buying rentals or flips, or what were you focused on?
So really, my experience with the bad experiences that I had in Jackson were in so I did sell the 4 unit in
Okay.
Lansing too, which was I bought a house in Georgia with that. But that was the reason that one was kind of giving me issues was there was a cup it was a 1-1 on the bottom, studio on top, and those studios are always you get a transient
Yep.
clientele
Yep.
and
A lot of turnover. Yeah.
yeah, it's difficult to keep them filled. Uh, so I just between my 4 unit, my 3 unit, and even any I've had 3 duplexes, I just didn't have very good experiences with them.
Hmm.
But single families always treated me well,
Hmm.
and so I just stuck with single families, and that's kind of my real estate,
Yeah.
where my real estate
Yeah. If it ain't
ends is
broke, don't
single
fix it. Yeah.
families because it's become pretty easy for me. I know the calculations pretty well, and I'm not necessarily looking for get rich quick. I just want solid investments that I know that can withstand the test of time
Hmm.
and not really have to think about uh, maybe I have to share utilities or one tenant's disrupting another. I just really don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
So single families is the way I've been.
And have you been buying them creatively like you started off, or you've been buying them just a traditional 20% down now that you have some money?
So uh, I do have a couple of land contracts that I very short term. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still doing creative, not the land contract terms that I was getting in the early 2000s, but uh, short term land contracts, and I now uh, am versed enough to be able to understand how long it'll take to do flips
Mm-hmm.
and get these things. I've over the last year I've had worked with 3 different sets of tenants at 3 different houses move out for 6 weeks, and when they come back, rent was here, rent will end when they come back. It'll be at this other number predetermined that's already been agreed upon, and then they move all their stuff back into a brand new
Oh, wow.
house with all new surfaces, and they can't be happier.
Did you? And so you bought, are these properties you bought with tenants in them and you said, here's the plan, and they said,
Yeah,
we want to come back?
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
So you kind of lock in your tenant up front.
Already had it locked in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never heard of someone doing that,
Yeah.
but that works out. So you're buying them, are you buying them with cash, fixing them up, and then refinancing them? Or what's your finance? Or,
Cash where preferably not cash because in like I said the couple of LLCs that I have going right now, they just started in October and September of 24,
Mhm.
and I'm paying them off. I'm actually going to be paying both of them off here within the next month or two.
Okay.
And
With a
so
refinance?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
all the properties are filled.
Mm-hmm.
They're rented. They're uh, just going through the motions right now, and then I'll be paying them off. But in those cases, I come down with very little cash at all, 10%
Yeah.
if I have to, and then that money is usually private lenders,
Okay. Okay. So
friends, family.
yeah, that's the next question is everyone says, where do you find your private
Yeah.
lenders at? So you said yours are just friends and family?
That's the majority. Depending, usually if they're not your friends or your family, they're gonna stick to hard money terms, and
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about
Yeah.
that. I don't think anyone is crazy
How do
about
you have
that.
those conversations with private lenders? I mean, do you just post on Twitter, hey, I'm looking for money, or is it you go around asking people, or are you calling people?
Well, um, because I have been in it for so long and people have seen the outcomes of my labors of what I've done, a lot of people really understand what it is that I'm doing. They see what I'm doing. They know that I'm good for my word,
Hmm.
and it's really about trust, and they already are already understand who they're working with
Yeah.
and who they'll be working with and getting interest checks from, which is ultimately what they're looking for is just having the security and knowing that they will ultimately get their money back.
Yeah. Yeah. I know there's a lot of people that are sitting on a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they know real estate is the right avenue, but they don't know how to get into it,
Yeah.
And especially if you're older, you might not
Hmm.
be able to afford additional risk, where if you put the money with someone who knows what they're doing, now you can take advantage of the real estate market without the risk and the
Yeah.
hassle. So yeah, that's a great way to help both sides because we're helping them by giving them interest and they're
Yeah.
helping us by growing our portfolio. So it's great. So you use private money, maybe combined with the bank loan or maybe combined with the land contract, buy it, fix it, rent it, do the BRRRR strategy,
Hmm.
refinance, pay off the land contract, pay off your investor.
And ideally, uh, I'll still end up after refinancing at 70% LTV, sometimes 80% LTV, depending on the situation. I'll still be coming out ahead with coming back with more money than what I even started with.
Do you take it if it's an option?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah, the
because
cash out refinance.
that allows me just to go with more, have more ammo to go into another deal.
Okay. All right. And then
As
so
long as but things have to pencil out.
yeah.
And truthfully, lenders, if they do their due diligence, aren't going to give you more money than what your payments aren't going to be greater than what your rent would
Yeah.
be able
Yeah,
to.
they work those numbers backwards. But okay, so you're renting them and then you have a manager.
Yeah.
So that works out. Are you doing a lot of the work yourself still?
No, I try to do little to none,
Okay. Yeah.
other than, but my time with the houses is being eaten up, uh, with other aspects, not swinging hammers, not
Yeah.
it,
There's still a lot to do behind the computer.
the banks, they want everything they need, and it takes
Yep.
somebody to give them everything that they need
Yeah,
and
code
want,
compliance, insurance, all that.
and yeah, exactly. And then that's exactly it too, code of compliance and making sure everything is tight and you're ready and you're meeting inspectors and uh, yeah, it's full time.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of work.
So how many units do you have now?
Right. Well, so if you count the cidery buildings,
Yeah.
those are four in those, and then 23 single family houses. So
Okay.
20,
Oh,
27
well, and just slow and steady
units.
over time. You
That's it.
same model, buy them
That's it.
either creatively or below market, add some value by
Yeah.
fixing them up, rent them, and hold them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and if you offer a really respectable property and you do your due diligence with the tenants that you have in place, they're gonna respect it right back.
Mm-hmm.
If something breaks, fix it.
Yeah. Oh,
Doesn't
yeah.
have to be you.
Yeah. Someone needs to fix
Yeah.
it. So, yeah. So, what are you up to now? You said that you bought some properties here, and then offline, you said that you bought two of them with your IRA. So, you sold a house in Georgia and bought two in your IRA. How does that work?
Yeah. So I've got, like I told you earlier, I had bought three properties using my self-directed IRA, and
Sorry, real quick. Are those with cash? Like you use a loan and you use your IRA for the down payment, or you bought the entire thing with your IRA?
the entire thing.
Okay.
So so I had worked a W-2 for a lot of years, and
Mm-hmm.
I always took advantage of the 401k program.
Mm-hmm.
If there was any kind of match that the company would do, I would at least get 100% of their usually 3% match
Yeah.
or 1.5%, whatever it is. But I'd always at least get that. And at one point, because uh, the very last job I had was a little more than what I needed, so I ramped up my percentage of investment up to like
Oh
22%
well.
because I just didn't need it, and I thought, well, let's just kick this thing and build it up while I can. Um, and so those funds, while I was working at the cidery, I befriended this gentleman who had his mother had passed away, and she had two rental properties of her own. So him and his sister now had three properties that he had to get rid of through the estate, and was asking if I knew of anyone or if I was interested in buying them. And at that time, we had just closed in one day on two properties.
Mm-hmm.
And this was that same month. And I'm thinking, oh boy, we just
Yeah.
I'm just kind of spend
Mhm.
everything. And he started saying, well, you told me that you used to work a full-time job. And I said, yeah, well, and he said, well, did you have a 401k? I said, yes. And he said, well, you can buy properties with that. I thought, really? And so he explained to me about a little bit about the self-directed IRA, and you can move. What I did was moved all of my 401k funds that were in an IRA into my uh, into my self-directed IRA. And basically, what that is it allows you to, instead of you putting funds into a 401k and then a manager takes a cut to be able to put a little bit in here and a little bit in
Mhm.
here and shift things, and it's all stock related somehow. This was allowed me to put the investments myself through my custodian into basically whatever I tell them to put it in. So you can buy physical gold if you want and have it housed in a secure safe by a
Mhm.
company somewhere. You can invest in companies. You can invest in however, really, the it's endless, the options that you have. So what I did was took the money and invested it in real estate,
Mhm.
and it's all pre-taxed money. So the rent. So I ended up buying those three houses, getting them all rent. Two of them were already rented. I got uh, the mother who died. I got her house rented out, and then all of those funds, the rent goes directly back into my 401k,
Okay.
but 100% because I paid for those 100%, those houses 100% using my retirement, and then all of that rent goes right back into my 401k.
So if a roof needs to be done, you need 10 grand. Do you take that from your retirement account, or do you have to have a separate
Comes out of my
savings account?
401k. So
Okay.
it's a beautiful thing because this really doesn't take anything out of my pocket.
Hmm.
And they even have a credit card that you can load up and go to Home Depot and make
Oh
purchases
wow.
as long as it's for those
Yeah.
properties. And you don't have to, uh, there's no, it's really not at any expense to you. And it comes right out of your 401k using pre-tax dollars.
What when you rolled your 401k over to the self-directed IRA, is was that within the same company, like the same retirement agency?
No, so the custodian specifically that
Yeah.
I use, and I'll give them a plug because I don't really know of how many of them are, but I know that this is one of the bigger ones, and is Equity Trust. They're out of Cleveland, Ohio. We actually just drove by the building
Hmm.
over this past weekend when
Okay.
we were in Cleveland.
And you would it is easy to do and straightforward.
Yeah, sometimes communication and trying to get if you have questions, sometimes it takes a minute to hunt down the right people.
Hmm.
But I've done enough transactions with them that now I have people, I have friends that also have self-directed IRAs and will lend to each other
Oh, mhm.
at fixed interest rates, and it just goes right. The interest builds, and like if on my loan that I'm giving them, I can take 10%,
Mhm.
or they take 10%, but we never physically touch the money.
Okay.
It's all through Equity Trust, and they send the check through to title
Okay.
on these deals.
Very cool. So you got your rentals here, your IRA money working, and then so what? Yeah, what are you up to now?
So what I'm up to now is I I've really been focusing a good portion of my time this year on getting the last 8 properties that I had purchased over the last year, getting them financed and everything stabilized and working long term how I want it to. Uh, I've also, earlier this year, I sold a IRA property to my tenant that was actually in the property when I bought it back
Oh,
in
no way.
2020.
They ended up getting financing and cashed you out?
Well, I did most of the transactions with her daughter, who set it up as a Christmas gift
Oh,
this last year.
okay.
So then we closed on that, and then all of those funds went back into my IRA. And then earlier this year, I bought two additional properties here in Lansing, and one is done being rehabbed. The other's just about started.
Okay.
I'm ready to start. So that's what I've been doing. And then in addition to that, I've been focusing my time, my energy, and resources into a new startup business that we're going to be hopefully opening mid-August. And it is a mailbox rental store slash shipping, receiving, U-Haul rental will be access points for FedEx, UPS, USPS, DHL. Um, I'm a notary, and I became a notary over the last month and a half. So we'll be offering that service, printing, copying, scanning. Um, and the name of the company is My Mailbox Express.
Okay. Where'd you come up with the idea for the business?
Um, I actually, it was through a podcast of Ken McElroy, and he was having a conversation with Lisa Song Sutton.
Oh,
And I know she changed her name. She just recently got married. I
okay.
can't pronounce her name with her last name without chopping it up, so
So
I'm
they
not going
can
to say
Google
it.
that. Yeah.
But you'll find her if it's Lisa Song Sutton. And she's got three locations. Ship Las Vegas is
Hmm.
the name of her company. She has three locations in Las Vegas, and uh, is very it seems to be doing very well. But it's a business that me and a business partner were already kicking around the idea of storage units,
Hmm.
because that just, if you can make them makes pencil out, they're cash cows.
Yeah.
And you hear all kinds of podcasts that
Yep.
both of us have probably studied
Small maintenance,
up and
Yeah.
down and love the idea of it. The problem that we ran into was trying to understand the hurdles involved with the capital investment,
Hmm.
because you either buy a location that's completely built out, ready to go, and it's going to be a pricey penny,
Yeah.
or understand how to develop this all on your own, which is going to take a business plan that's further beyond what I am ready to tackle.
Yeah.
And so then we found essentially this idea that it is similar, because the idea of renting mailboxes is that they ultimately are individually like little storage units
Hmm.
in the same respect, but getting enough of them will be enough to make a mortgage on your, or make a payment for your rent,
Yeah.
which is what we're planning to do.
Hmm.
And
And
then all of the ancillary uh, income revenue streams that are also incorporated. Anything else that you can add. If I knew how to cut hair, I'd throw in barbershop into the building and have just one more thing.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust myself with, with
Okay,
cutting
so
hair.
so all the mailboxes is like your passive income, and that's what pays for the majority of the bills, and then all the extra stuff is just extra income.
Icing on the cake.
Okay. All right. What kind of due diligence do you do for that type of business? I mean, did you go to other locations or pull reports?
We've been into a lot of uh, shipping the DHLs, all of the within the greater Lansing area, looking at DHL, UPS, USPS, stopping by all of them, asking about pricing
Hmm.
structures and getting all the information that we could. Um, and then really, and then in addition, U-Haul, where are all the U-Haul rental locations? Where are all of these spots physically, and what markets are missing the things that we could offer?
Hmm.
And really, it's about finding the right spot. And then in addition, with the mailboxes, you have to make sure that there's a traffic, but residential is huge for the mailbox industry, but also so it's big for businesses and people that want a physical address, mailbox, not a PO
Yeah.
box. It's you're looking for that market as well. So uh, we found a place that we're really happy with, and there's already a lot of pre-orders for mailboxes, and we talked to a lot of owners that are ready for the services as well.
Oh, it's exciting. I've looked into that a little bit, watched a lot of YouTube videos on it, and I'm excited to see how that works out for you. But
Appreciate that.
I was going to ask too. We skipped over any potential horror stories that you've had through your real estate journey to get to this point. Different businesses, rentals, flips, moving across the country. I'm sure you got some stories you could share.
Uh, I would say my an easy horror story, and it may be considered comical, but to some, it wasn't to me when it happened. But one of the properties that I bought in Jackson, I got a really good deal on because this was, again, back during the Great Recession and in a crime-ridden area. Not the best, but I literally, I think I paid for this duplex 9,500.
Well,
I mean, this was, the automotive companies were crashing
hmm,
and things were getting tight. I mean, it was a crazy time, but um, I knew that I could afford that,
yeah,
and I'll figure out the rest
yeah, yeah.
later. So this property it needed a lot of work, and through my Jackson property manager, they lined me up with all the contractors to get the work done for me. And so uh, it had been missing all of the plumbing. At this time, copper prices were quite high,
Hmm.
and so the first thing people that were hard up would do is rip out all the copper plumbing, if anyone remembers that,
Yep, yep.
out of the buildings, and suddenly you have leaks and no copper. And this is before PEX was really
Right.
even heard of. Uh, and so I had my property managers, contractors do all the work. They put all new plumbing in. Um, and it was within the first year of it being fully, both units were rented out and stabilized, if you call it stabilized. It was rocky. But within the first year, that one of the units went vacant. And it was while it was vacant that that unit got broke into,
Mm.
and all that copper plumbing got stolen again.
Oh well.
And it flooded up that unit and the other unit,
Again. Wow.
and the other unit. So I was like, oh, geez,
No.
here we are.
Hmm. Did
Back.
insurance cover that, or did it?
I wasn't. At the time, it just to me didn't make sense because every time I make an insurance claim, unless it's a hailstorm or
Yeah.
an act of God, it affects all my
Yeah.
insurance pricing and all of my all yeah, the bills just go up and things don't pencil out any longer, and
Did you file a police report? Do you have any idea? Like, was it the tenant that moved out, you think? Or,
they probably would. No, I didn't, but they probably would have told me,
yeah.
look at what road it's on.
Yeah. Right.
I mean,
you
yeah,
you should have seen this coming.
did you
Yeah.
see where you bought?
Yeah.
Were you even, what kind of due diligence did you do?
9,500 for a duplex. That's crazy.
Yeah. And that might have been the cop's response as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. I
You
saw what you
paid
paid.
9,500 for this thing.
That's funny.
It's public knowledge.
All right. So you have a vast experience, and you're into the mailbox game now, which is exciting. What do you think is coming as far as real estate goes, or you personally in the future? I mean, you have your business, but are you going to keep buying? You're going to keep renting? Are prices too high? Rates too high?
Well, At any given time throughout life, I think that there will always be prices that are too high. There will always be uh, interest rates that are too high. Uh, it's all on the glasses that you're looking through, because ultimately you can make anything pencil out if you just change change, maybe not at the right time, but you can find a deal at any given time. It doesn't matter the price that the interest rate is, because then you find the rent has to be this then.
Yep.
Well, what's it take to get that rent? You have to have it. If you want market rent, you have to have a rehab property, and that's because what it's going to take. How much is that going to cost? Well, depends on who you're hiring
Yeah.
to do the work. Are you doing the work? How many hours is it going to take? Do you have the
Yeah.
availability to put the hours in? Or can you find somebody that's um, maybe not licensed but don't need to be for the work that they're doing, if they're able to do more light
Hmm.
light rehab work? You don't need to find the most expensive best contractors.
Yeah.
And so I think that the deals are always there. It depends on how hard you're gonna, how deep you look, and uh, what you're willing to consider, and how flexible you are.
Yeah.
Because if you have to change some of your numbers a little bit, maybe you spend less on countertops and more on a new front door, because it is more road presence,
Yeah.
and it changes your end user, who may pay a little more for rent.
Hmm.
And so I think that, yeah, I think now is just as good a time as any. For me personally, I'm at the moment, really, we're getting very close to opening our first store in August, but we're looking already at locations, and to open up another shop, possibly start already within the next 6 months or so.
Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah.
And then, so you have some industrial too. Have you pursued that or looked in that? You mentioned self storage to it, and you have industrial. Have you looked into buying more commercial properties?
We would like to, and maybe that won't be the second store. Maybe that will be a glorified plan for the third store.
Hmm.
But of course, we want commercial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bring it, bring it.
Hmm.
I love the idea of other people paying for me to, very much like the cidery, for me to work in my space
Hmm.
and have somebody else pay the bill for me. Is a great. Uh, I mean, your location here is a great case in point. It allows you the freedom to do everything that you want, and other people value that you have the space, but they're able to help you pay the bill for you to be in this room that we're in right now,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
And so, yeah, we definitely, uh, my partner who and I already have concepts of our own location and building that we would purchase and what we would do with it.
Mm.
And but I'm not going to let too many
Yeah.
cats out of the bag yet.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. I'm excited to
Don't
see
steal my
what
ideas,
you have
Dave.
coming. Oh yeah. No, I won't. I won't. That's not on my agenda. But well, I appreciate you coming out and chatting with me here. Is there any resources or referrals or anything that you could share with people listening that might just be getting started or be in the Lansing area and be looking for, you know, someone that you might have be able to share, you know?
I would. Um, I'll give props to my property manager here in Lansing, because I've been using them since I was living in Chelsea, then living in Dayton, then then moved to Ohio, Atlanta, back to Lansing. But first choice realty has been with me from the beginning of my real estate endeavors here in Lansing, and still very happy with them. So I guess if anyone were to want to get started, don't really like the idea of being a property manager, I would highly recommend them to to as the company to get your start in.
Okay. First choice realty for property management.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
And then I was also talking about the lawn care
Oh
that
yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because I know you could use them too. OCD. I don't know if
OCD.
it's OCD land care. I don't know
Okay.
the rest of it, but uh, I would recommend them. They do a great job.
For lawn and snow, are you saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. And then if anyone wants to reach out to you, can you share the best way to get in contact with you? You can share your phone number or social media or email.
Email would probably be the best, and especially if there's any deals that you want to send my way as well. My email is chadkeilen@hotmail.com. ChadKeilen, chadkeilen@hotmail.com. And then the social medias,
Yeah.
Facebook too, Chad Keilen. So pretty simple.
All right, sweet. Well, thanks, Chad.
All right, appreciate you.